Hello all. Given the rather astonishing popularity of my video on the quote-unquote Swan Song cut of Brian De Palma's classic cult movie Phantom of the Paradise, I'm up to almost 120 views, which is astonishing considering I only have 11 subscribers. I thought I'd do another brief Phantom video, this one focusing on something that you don't get to see in the theatrical cut, but you do in the Swan Song cut. And that is the entire list of names on Swan's Rolodex. Some of these names don't need any explanation, and some of them do, and I'll provide that for you where I can. There are 25 names. The first name is Neil Diamond. I think that's pretty obvious. Mick Jagger is number 2. Bob Dylan is number 3. Carly Simon is number 4. Melanie is number 5. She just passed away recently, unfortunately. She's most popularly known for a couple of songs, Brand New Key and What Have They Done to My Song, Ma? And she just passed away a couple of weeks ago. Melanie Safka was her full name. Number 6 is Randy Newman. Number 7, Alice Cooper. Number 8, Harold Leventhal. Harold Leventhal was both a music and a film producer. One of the movies that he produced was Car Wash. And he produced a lot of music for people over the years. Gary Stromberg, again, was a music producer, produced mostly a lot of folk singers, and was very popular. Jerry Brandt was the nightclub impresario, and he is famous for discovering Carly Simon. He was also her first manager, and it is thought generally that the song You're So Vain is actually about him. Because apparently he was kind of a jerk, and that was known through the industry. David Geffen, very famous music producer, handled the Beatles, handled John Lennon, Elton John, too many people to name. Geffen Records was an enormous record label, which he started, but he was not quite as well known in 1974. George McGovern was the senator from South Carolina who ran against Richard Nixon in his second term as the Democratic nominee and lost mostly because he made a rather poor choice of vice president. But that's neither here nor there. It's interesting that he's on the Swan Song list. Bette Midler. Jerry Moss, along with Herb Alpert, founded A&M Records, which produced the soundtrack to Phantom of the Paradise, interestingly enough. Winslow Leach, of course, we know who he is. Below him is Peter Fonda, the actor and director. And Dick Clark, famously of Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, who passed away a few years ago, and great rock and roll supporter, and ran American Bandstand for many years. Featured a lot of great rock acts. Chris Christopherson, singer, songwriter, and actor, is on the list. John Prine, great sort of country, folk, alternative singer and a terrific guitar player. Charlie Pride, the country singer. Michael Scorsese, I don't think I have to tell any of you who he is. If you don't know who Martin Scorsese is, you shouldn't be watching this video. Number 21, Jack Nicholson. Obviously, everyone knows who he is. Michael Arciaga. Michael Arciaga was a music producer who, amongst other things, produced the music for Phantom of the Paradise and Carrie as well, and a number of other De Palma films. This one I'm not sure of. It says Dick Romer. I'm not sure. It might be a reference to a guy who was generally known as Rick Romer, who was both a film director and a theatrical trainer. I think he might have been a friend of Brian De Palma's. So I think that's why he might be on the list. And the last one, Abby Hoffman, the classic counterculture guru who wrote the book, ironically titled Steal This Book, where he told you how to do things like how to cheat the telephone company and make free telephone calls, and how to write your senators to protest the Vietnam War and various other things, and was a great counterculture figure of the 70s. So that's the entire list. I found it very interesting that all those people are within Swan's sphere of influence, as it were. Certainly, if you're going to have a character who is somewhat representative of the devil, Alice Cooper definitely deserves to be on that list. I'm surprised Ozzy Osbourne's not on there, too. But I think that was a little too early, although Sabbath was around in 1974, certainly. Anyway, I thought you guys would get a kick out of that.